Approximately 50% of American children will witness the breakup of a parent's marriage in their lifetime. My roommate and childhood friend, Emery Roth, is one of the millions of kids that had to witness her parents split at a young age. Like many others might, she would say this was a pivotal moment that changed her life. So how old were you when your parents got divorced?
I was between the ages of 6 and 8 years old.
Do you have any early memories about your parents' marriage kind of falling out? Do you remember them fighting at all, or was it kind of a surprise when they got divorced?
Okay, so growing up, my dad actually was overseas for a lot of my early childhood, so I don't really remember a whole lot, but the things that I do remember when he was back is, yes, just a lot of arguing and late night loud noises. I couldn't be specific in what they actually are, but I just remember it being pretty hostile in my home.
Not only did Emery have to witness tension and hostility between her parents, but she started noticing that new faces were showing up at home as well.
So my mom ended up seeing a new guy while my dad was overseas, so that was a huge adjustment to make. It felt really weird because I'd never seen him before. I didn't really know who he was. It was a new adjustment because as far as I knew, I still had a father. So I didn't understand why this man was coming over and spending time with us when my dad wasn't home.
While growing up through this, Emery and her younger brother Landon would look to each other for comfort.
So actually, my brother was super young when this happened, but as we grew up, basically Kevin, my stepdad, was his kind of like his father figure. But my brother definitely knew that my dad was his dad. So yeah, it was kind of neat because Lennon and I are super close, and he's my only biological sibling. So we do have that in common, and we do hold that, as something really special to us. And it's something we have talked about many times, but it's he was too young to really understand what was going on anyways.
Did they sit you down and tell you hey, we're splitting up, or we're not going to live together? How did they break the news to you and your brother?
I guess I don't really remember. As far as I know, it was kind of just something that happened. I don't ever remember a specific sit-down thing, but I'm sure that's probably what they did. It was probably a really brief discussion because my family doesn't really like to talk about issues like that. So it didn't really hit me until I got older, and I say that because my dad started moving around a lot after my parents got a divorce, and of course my parents did get remarried and things. That's when it probably hit me the most because I recognized that the guy that my mom was seeing was now her new future husband, and that really tore me up a lot. And then my dad was no longer in the picture. He moved away, so I no longer got to see my dad anymore, and that was just really hard in itself. It wasn't necessarily the divorce itself. It was the fact that nothing was ever going to be the same, and I wasn't going to be able to have them both in my life, and I didn't get to really choose either, so it didn't really matter.
Even through the hardships of watching a marriage break, she has been able to find the positives in the situation as well as a new family.
As a kid, I was a super angry kid in that specific department, not as in general, but now I accept it a little bit more, and it's a huge part of my testimony too. So it's hard to not still have a little bit of anger, but it's a little bit different because I've seen how happy my parents are now and how happy we are, and it's it was a really good situation. So I had mentioned also that my family kept moving around. Well, now my dad actually has moved back to McCook with his wife, his two twin boys, and then my mom and my stepdad also live in McCook with their young girl. And something that I really like to tell people is I'm so blessed to have a family that even through all the divorce, because even my dad's parents are divorced, that we are extremely close, and we spend holidays, everything together, and we do a lot together. And they do a lot for my little sister, and my parents, my mom and Kevin, do a lot for my twin brothers. It's just a very healthy relationship, so couldn't be even any more proud.
Emery continues to walk around with a smile on her face and parents that love her. She hopes that her story will inspire other children in similar situations to look towards the positives.